started playing pool with my dad and my brother when I was a pretty young kid. We used to not have a pool table at my house growing up for years, so we would go to bowling alleys, and we would go, this is when you could still smoke inside of a bowling alley, so it'd be clouded with smoke, and I'm just this little kid just like loving the sport so much, but I'm like, my lungs are dying on the inside. I'm coughing in between like taking strokes and everything, and it was still amazing because it's still, you're bonding like with like a brother and like your dad, so it didn't matter how bad the conditions were or how bad like the tables were or anything. You're just excited to like go on this adventure with family out of the house. Later on growing up, we had a pool table in our basement, and I would just spend hours and hours playing with my brother or my dad or friends that would come over to play. And it's something that I've always loved, and I got more into recently, just like in the last few years. I would play here and there, but I started playing a lot on the road because a lot of times after shows there's a pool table because maybe we'll go to a bar afterwards, or there's a pool table close to the venue. And I started seeking it out and really taking it a little bit more seriously and getting better, like a lot. Like I'm the best now that I've ever been just because I'm playing so much more than I used to. And it's one of those things where it's an amazing way to unwind after shows because there's so much adrenaline flowing through you. You can't go to sleep right afterwards, so you got to do something. And pool is kind of the perfect outlet for that.
It's gonna take a little bit to win you guys back over. This is cool. I see where I'm at. Ooh, just about ate it. Love it. See that, dude? How you doing, man? Yeah, dude. Dude, the only guys who are brave enough to sit in the front row here look like ex-convicts. Everyone else is like, okay, what kind of show did we get ourselves into? This is a lot.
When I play pool for a long time, I think it's very close to what people experience when they're meditating, actually, because you get in the groove while you're playing and everything else kind of fades away except what's on the table and what's going on right then and there. And I attribute it very similar to comedy shows as well, because you're also thinking about your next step after you make a shot. And it's very similar with stand-up. Like, if that joke hits, okay, they like that, so where am I going? And you're trying to always think 3 steps ahead in stand-up and pool. And the best people in comedy know exactly where they're gonna end up at the end of the set a lot of times. And I feel like that's very similar with pool. You're trying to leave yourself and set yourself up to be successful for the next shot.
I was raised super religious. I've never had a drink of alcohol in my life, never done a drug in my life, and the only woman who I've ever slept with is my wife. Which gets an array of responses, as you can tell. It was dead silent and one man whistling.
I know I'm on my phone too much. Like, I know that I'm posting too much online and doing all that, and I have like my kind of nose in the screen. So when I'm playing pool, like everything else doesn't kind of matter for a little bit. It's just about the game. And that's how I try to treat comedy shows too, is when I'm on stage and I'm giving that show to the audience, nothing else matters. I'm just trying to make those people happy and make their lives better for however long I'm on stage.
Where are you guys coming from? Are you? Edmonton. Nice. Are you guys in like a punk rock band or anything like that? Are you? You're in a band? Oh, you didn't have to, dark wave techno. We get it, yeah. It's like a dark wave techno band, dude. Like, we're trying to put out some new feelers for like a new genre of music. If you can help us out. Actually, Spotify can't even classify what we are. And neither can our family, so. We're kind of like lone wolves, but we found each other. It's not gay, but it is. Do you get it? Nailed it, dude. Freaking nailed it.
I think with pool and comedy, it's all about the details and how specific you are with how you're playing the game or how you're playing with an audience. Could be an inflection in your voice that changes from one show to the next that gets a better rise out of the audience. And in pool, it's all about literally centimeters or millimeters can make a difference of you being successful. And that's kind of how I treat my comedy. Is I am a very meticulous person with my comedy. Whenever it comes down to characters, I'm in that character for the whole night. When I'm inside of a bit, I'm so committed to that bit. I'm 1,000% in, and it might sound crazy, but because I'm not like an amazing pool player by any means, but I love it so much that I'm that detail oriented when I am playing with other people or by myself.
But I mean, if you guys weren't in a band, I mean, it would be very alarming to see you. Hi, welcome to Tim Hortons. What can I get you? What combo would you like? The number, get me out of here, please. What is the number for call the police? I'm terrified. How long have you guys been in a band?
4 years.
4 years, dude? You freaking just graduated. This is crazy. This is wild, dude. You can put your gauge on the right side to the left side. It's one of those tassel jokes. I don't know if you guys remember that from graduating. That's cool. What's the name of your band? Strangers? Of course it is. Dude, it's like this thing that, like, where it's a weird name because like we're actually really close friends, but we're called strangers. Isn't that wild, dude? It's pretty wild, dude. What's your name? Casey? I love your energy, dude. And JoJo? What is it? Dude, we're the new Casey and JoJo, okay? We're white, we're metal, we're punk rock, little gay, a little straight. We don't know what we are, dude. Nobody knows how to put a label on us, including labels. We're not signed to a label. We don't know. We don't know what's going on here, dude. That's awesome, man.
I think it's important to have hobbies outside of your career, especially in comedy, because you'll go crazy if you only are obsessing about comedy. There's enough time in the day to have hobbies and also be a very career-driven person. I'm learning that all the time about myself, is that it doesn't have to be just a one-track mind with comedy. There's room and time for relationships and hobbies and other life events, and I'm trying to learn from that all the time, and hopefully it's making me a more well-rounded person. But it's nice to have something that's not related to comedy that you see yourself improving upon, and it's encouraging. Really, it makes me want to try more things and get better at more things, since I have grown as much as I have as a pool player just within the last couple of years of really being on the road a lot more and having access to more pool tables and being able to play late at night after I do sets and stuff. And now I'm seeking it out when I'm not on the road, and it's become something that is really enjoyable for me to do during the week outside of comedy shows. And it's a good release, and it feels good to have something that just makes you feel good.